my sweeteners. Right. These are actually kind of like, this took ages to do, and I'm really happy with my result. There's a lot of things I could have added, a lot of things I probably should not have gone so deep into, but I'm happy about it. Is these sounds. So you can hear it's just random sounds that you can add with footsteps. So when he's walking onto wood, is he going to be walking onto a, you know, creaky kind of where is it? Oh, too much coffee today. You know, that could be added with the footsteps, and because you have, like, you know, these dual switches going on there, it sounds a lot more realistic. Like he's walking onto leaves, you know, he's on the dirt switch on the foot surfaces, but he might be, you know, is there a twig there? Or is there, you know, just a bit of leaf there, is a little twig sample. I didn't separate them because I kind of liked the fact that I had quite a lot of them, and I made them so that it's, you know, you shuffle them and avoid the last four, because I can actually do that with this and it never sounds the same, because you're shuffling the last four that you hear, so naturally you would kind of forget, and then boop, comes back again later down the line. Yeah, I pretty much did that, and that's how I did my sweeteners. It was quite basic, but it's obviously just like doing the exact same process there, except I didn't add precision in. I did add precision in there actually. Yeah, I didn't at first because I didn't like something about it. I completely forgot. But yeah, anyway. And this is the exact same thing as well. I put that so then obviously you don't hear any sounds there. So when the player does stop, sometimes you can hear, if you don't do that delay there, and when you're running and then you all of a sudden stop, you can sometimes hear delayed, kind of sounds like just one footstep that should never have been there. That's because it hasn't actually had that, you know, that stop there, because when he's running sample, and he stops and it still thinks that it's 0.2 on the player, and that's really annoying. And it took me a while to figure out why it did that. That's the footsteps. I think I haven't missed out too much, but hopefully not. Game music, the interactive music, I did a very minimal piece. I did it in 2 sets. So these are my states, essentially. I made the music, which was, you can hear it really briefly. And this is how it goes. Like, I did not want the music to take too much, like draw too much attention from the actual stuff that I have actually put a lot of effort in, and just E minor kind of scale, which kind of sounds good, but I created that with using, let me just see, so what I did is, let me just see, yeah, that's my attenuations before I forget. So I created these attenuations. I've got one for the bird, one for the blacksmith, one for the crane, dog, music, pub, and they all got just, let me show you some interesting stuff before I forget. My crowd, for an instance, I used attenuation for, I actually kind of liked, because I've got the attenuation curve there, and it's very minimal there, and low pass filter. So the further you get away, the more low pass will be applied for it. And the spread, so when you're actually close to the pub, like really close to the pub, it actually does pan left and right, and when you get further away, it actually doesn't pan like left and right, because naturally when you're far away from an object, you wouldn't hear the difference between your ears. So I did that with all of them, especially the torches. That's how you can hear it kind of goes to the right, but then when you're actually kind of far away, it won't do the same effect. And so that's that. Sorry, I'm knackered, but game music. What I did here is I created these segments and these, and what I essentially did was, these are all just one samples, and I just made this in Reaper. There's my RTPCs. Where's my, completely forget where I put these things. Got my states, my music state. So I created these states. So I got discovery 1, 2, explore. I did have enemy attacks, enemy kind of spotted and stuff, but I actually chucked it into another state. These are my stingers, and what you can hear is, you can hear that those stingers there, they come quite sudden sometimes, because obviously when you get to an object, like when you get to the boat, you'll hear it. When you get to that door by where just down the road from where the pub is. There's one. There's one behind that house. You know where the just near the beach, near the seaside. Sorry. There's another one, and and the other one is by where did I put it? I'll try to find it later because I remember shoving it somewhere completely different to where I'm thinking. So those are my states, and I created these transition times. So between each one, obviously put an insert, and also the transitions here. So I create the transitions there with states, and then obviously when you go there, let me see. So then I've got those there, and yeah, so that's how I did my states, and I think that's pretty much my uni project from. I don't want to spend way too much time here because I've already spent 15 minutes, but these are my events. So I created the events there. I made like play and stop. I'll show you that quickly. I didn't know that I actually spent 15 minutes, sorry about that. And right, and then obviously putting the sound bank, I put the whole lot in there. That's my Unity project, and what I've done here, you can just quickly see, is those here are my colliders, my sweeteners. So every time the character will go in there with a trigger, it will, you know, all the puddles, and so you got here, I've got puddle, dirt, wood, everything, and also my footsteps. So I have it as you can see, this here is my gravel, that there is my stone, which is, I only put it like, where is it? There. So when you can see when I walk on top, then it changes to that. By default it's dirt, and then on every single one of these I've got the wood, and did all that by script as well. I didn't actually use the WY's like standard stuff. I actually just created scripts here, and I use them. This here, let me just see if I can find it because it's a bit messy. I've got my ambient box, and this here is natural, like an ignore area. So when you're in the collider, that is the natural sound, but inside it, I've created that that there. So when he's in this area here, it will play the town ambient. When he goes into there, it actually fades it out completely, but really nice transitioning. And goes into the seaside, so the seaside becomes a lot louder, and then when you go outside it, the seaside will get lower, but it's still there. So it's kind of nice transition time, because this way it kind of sounds a lot smoother, but you can still kind of hear the town, you can still hear the seaside, but you can see that one of them is definitely more prominent in the mix, which I used by using just script, and it's called ignore area. So this is an ambient with ignore area, but the ignore area's actually got another sound inside with a transition time. My interactive music is set as that, and I've got my stingers, which you can hear here. So that's, yeah, that's the one sound, that's the other, and oh yeah, there's another one there that you can hear. It's very, very low in volume though. And my trigger audio. So this is pretty much what I've done, and as you can see here, I'll just show you quickly if I got my sweetener. Let me just give you briefly what I've done as a script. Just take one of them. It's very simple. I've got public string, public string, public string, public game object, this is the debug enabled, which I've learned online. But this is the switch group, and I call that material switch because that's what you get from WY's. In there you'll get so 1 second. So the switch group is in there. So it's material switch, which is that one there. So you call upon that, the puddle, and then no material. Obviously the silence and everything, that is when you get off, like, let's say it doesn't really work with footstep surfaces, but with materials you need an exit switch, and the exit switch can be just nothing, so it's just complete silence. And I've got the character enabled, and I just created here quickly, you know, if the player is in the area, or if not, return. And with the debug log, if you are inside, then the AK sound engine set switch, so that creates, so basically we'll say, yep, he's inside, I need this switch to be playing. And the same with the exit switch. And that's pretty much, I don't really want to spend way too much time because I've already hit nearly 20 minutes. So Thank you very much for the 20 minutes. I'm so sorry that it's that long. I just I didn't know I blabbed on so long. But yeah, cheers.